Today we're going to show you how to change the high limit thermostat on your dryer. It's a really easy job. All we're going to need is a 1/4" nut driver, 5/16 nut driver, and a putty knife. Let me show you how it's done. Now the first step in this repair will be to disconnect the power supply to the dryer. If your dryer has a cord on it, simply pull it out of the plug. If it's a hardwired dryer, find the disconnect switch and turn it off. Next, we need to raise the top on this dryer. There are 2 spring clips between the top and the front panel. Just locate them with your putty knife, depress them, lift up on that corner of the top, hold it in place. Now it helps to have somebody else to support the top, or if you can get the dryer pulled out away from the wall a little bit, you should be able to lean it up against the wall. Next, we're going to remove the wires from the door switch. Take note of where they're located. Some models may have 2 wires on the door switch and some may have 3. And we're going to remove 2 5/16 hex head screws that come in from the back of the cabinet into the front panel. Just tilt the front panel forward and then lift it off the base of the cabinet. There's 2 hooks there and 2 slots in the bottom of the front panel. We'll set that aside. Now if your dryer has a lighted drum in it, we'll want to remove the wires from that. Next, we're going to remove 4 5/16 hex head screws that secure the bulkhead to the cabinet. The bulkhead also has 2 tabs on the lower flange portions that sit down into the cabinet. So we'll tilt the bulkhead forward, lift up on the drum slightly, and we'll lift those 2 tabs out of the cabinet. Now we can set that aside. Now next we're going to have to remove the drum, and the easiest way to do that is to pull it forward slightly to release some of the tension on the belt. Now we're going to reach in with both hands, and on the right hand side the belt wraps around the idler pulley and the motor pulley. We want to release the tension on the idler shaft. Just pull it towards the right and roll the belt off of that. Now we can lift the drum out. And we can set that aside. Now with the drum removed, we have better access to our high limit thermostat. It's located in the left rear of the dryer here. We want to remove the 2 wires that are connected to that thermostat. And the 2 1/4" hex head screws. Take our new thermostat, install one of the screws first. We'll want to inspect the wire ends to make sure there's no signs of discoloration from heat or arcing. Make sure they fit snug on the terminals. If they don't fit snug, take a pair of needle nose pliers and just squeeze them a little bit tighter. Now we're ready to begin reassembly. The first step in reassembly, of course, is to put the drum back in. We'll want to make sure that we get that belt over top of the motor so that we can wrap it around the motor pulley, pull the idler pulley back, and tuck the belt in underneath the idler pulley. The groove side of this belt will go into the motor pulley against the drum. The flat side of it will run against the idler pulley. Slide it into the opening. We won't sit it up on top of the drum rollers yet. We'll reach in on the right hand side, locate the idler pulley and bracket. We'll pull that to the right against the spring tension. Roll the belt over the top of it. And then roll the belt around the motor pulley. Now we can lift the drum up onto the rear rollers. Rotate it. Make sure that the belt lines up on both pulleys. You should also see the blower wheel turning. Next, you're ready for the bulkhead. Now, this can be a little tricky to get those two tabs into these slots, but if you have a little patience, they will go in. Now, you're probably going to have to lift up on the drum. We'll hook one tab in first. We'll lift the drum up. And drop the other tab in. Make sure the two top flanges are on the outside of the cabinet. We're ready to reinstall the 5/16 screws. Now we can reconnect two wires to the light bulb, feed them through the harness retainer. You'll notice there's two different sizes of terminals. Make sure they fit snug. If they don't, take a pair of needle nose pliers and give them a little crimp. Now we're ready for the front panel. Again, we're going to locate the two slots on the bottom of the front panel over the two hooks on the bottom of the cabinet. Tilt the front panel into place. There's a locator tab on the sides that mates up with a hole in the cabinet. Make sure they line up. Now we can put our two 5/16 screws in from the back side to hold it in place. Next, we're going to reconnect the wires to the door switch. Again, make sure they fit nice and snug. Now we're ready to put the top down. There's a couple of locating pins on the top of the cabinet. We'll engage these two holes, as well as two on the front. We'll engage these two holes, so make sure those line up. And then just snap the top down into place. We'll reconnect the power, and our job is complete.